formulated your toothpaste. Then they came, and everything changed for all of us. First, we sent out our bravest, most competent, most handsome diplomat to meet with them. It didn't go well. They call Earth Region 72. They want to capture us, enslave us, and take our planet. But if we have anything to say about it, our region will remain free.
They're the best. They're the best. Come on, man!
They released Monster O!
They're here already! You're next! You're next! You're next!
All right, we are live. Welcome to episode number 32 of Region Free. Hope everybody's having a nice Thursday night. Thank you for tuning in and spending some of that night here with us. Let me do some shout outs real quick before I bring on the panel. Shout out to DJ Donnelly. What's up, DJ? The Daily Ghost, Toronto Freddy, Captain Halloween. Keith, how you doing, man? Joe Bob Tar Heel, what's up? RJ Skarinki, Laundry Art, how are you doing? Dark Corner Media, how are you, man? There's the Orkster in the chat. Orc, I hope you're doing well. And yes, please hit that like button. Thank you, Daily Ghost. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring on the panel, and we're going to get the ball rolling tonight. Joining me tonight after at least a couple of weeks off. I believe she was in Parts Unknown, but maybe she'll fill us in. I'm not sure. But making her triumphant return to the show tonight, Sam. How are you tonight?
I'm so sorry. I had to. And I had to show off this really adorable little octopus plushie. And thank you to Laundry Art because it's amazing.
Oh, is that a Laundry Art piece, or did he send that? Or
no, Laundry Art sent it as a little gift. And luckily I have a nice flat spot on the top of my head, so it makes a great hat.
Hey, there you go.
Yep. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm very tired. I've been extremely stupidly busy. Like, the level of busy I've been is I started watching House on Haunted Hill, the old one, yesterday, and I still haven't finished it today. So
okay.
I'm working towards that. But it's I've been taking full advantage of the Hoopla app because it kind of works in conjunction with your local library, so you can check out like books and movies, audiobooks too, lots of neat stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like getting back to some of my older shit.
Very cool. I'm not familiar with the Hoopla app.
Yeah, there's another one. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. But wherever you're based, if you have if for San Antonio in Bexar County, they have the Bear Bibliothèque. So that's where I signed up. They give you a library card number, and then you can use that through sites like Hoopla, and then Cloud. There's another one, Cloud Library, I think it is.
Hmm.
And they work in conjunction with that. So then you can just check out titles. So it's very cool. Highly recommend, taking the time to do that, because you might be able to find a lot of stuff that you haven't seen or read and be able to do it for free. Also,
Very
I
cool.
always encourage supporting local libraries because I'm a nerd.
What's funny about my local library is it's a very nice library, but the people who hang out there, they hang out in front of it, and they're not the Upright Citizens Brigade, put it that way.
No improv.
Yes. So it's strange that is like the hangout spot.
Well,
But
I used to hang out in front of the library in high school with a bunch of other miscreants that didn't have like cliques to hang out with. We were just leftovers.
I don't. This is there. There's. I think there's. Well, I don't want to be too. There's probably drugs going on and drug sales and other things that aren't great.
That was not the case at my high school. We were like, where do we get drugs? No, I don't think we knew where to get drugs.
But yeah, it's always an odd crowd hanging out in front of my library. The library is close to the post office, and actually I don't know why, but I'd gone to the post office later in the evening one evening, and as I was walking out, someone from the gang in front of the library said, "Hey man, you got any food?" And I went, "No, I don't." So I don't know if they were like, he's fat, he must have food on him, like in his pocket. He probably got a sandwich in his pocket. Or like maybe they were just really hungry and they wanted me to get him food. I don't know. But I was just like, no, I don't.
I feel like maybe that was just something they ask everybody, but
I don't know. It's just, hey, got any food? No.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm so out of touch. Like, this was years ago. I was, this was when I lived in an RV, not an RV, but a travel trailer that you hook up to the back of a truck. And I was just setting up some decorations for Christmas or something. And there was this group of kids. They were like, "Are you an emo?" Because I was wearing black, and I was like, "What the fuck is an emo?" I didn't know what that was then. It was like 2005, 2006, maybe. Oof. And then it took me like 3 more years to figure it out.
How did you answer that question?
I think I just looked at them and confusedly and just kind of blew them off because I was like, I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
Yeah. Kids and their slang,
Do we still say on fleek? Do we still say yeet anymore?
I was going to say, I'm just not on fleek.
Yeah, well, same. I'm in the same boat. I am not on fleek either. Except for my cool shirt.
That is a cool shirt. But it's good to have you back, Sam.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Also joining me tonight, all the way from the Empire State, not the Empire State Building, although that would be cool. Maybe we can get him to broadcast live from the Empire State Building one night. That would be something. Stone, how's it going, man?
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, just like Sam, I'm very tired, very busy here in New York City, but luckily the weather has improved. We've been seeing like 66-degree days now. A little bit of rain here and there, a little bit of sleet here and there, but nothing too nasty. So, but yeah, things are going well here in New York. I mean, just to give everybody a perspective on what I do for a living, I'm a document specialist, and so we like to batch and scan a lot of like secret classified documents. Well, this week I've been scanning a doctor's files where all of the like surgical pictures of people's inside organs I gotta put from black and white to color, and that's always fun when you're scanning documents for like 10 hours a night. because periodically you turn on all these surgical photographs, which are the most hideous images you can imagine. But so it's been getting fun at work. It's admittedly been getting very fun at work. I mean, grossing out the other employees and everything. Hey, check out this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to compromise, the classified information of others. I would.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah,
violate
so-
HIPAA here.
Yeah,
You don't want to have any
exactly.
HIPAA violations.
Exactly. But things are going very well. I hope you guys are doing great too.
Yeah, doing very good.
All right.
What are the possibilities of you broadcasting live from the Empire State Building? Is that a possibility at all?
I'll look
kidding.
into it. I'll look into it, but I don't have my high hopes. Yeah. Up there like King Kong and be like, I'm going to broadcast till the helicopters come, damn it.
Oh, goodness. Also joining me tonight from the Flesh Wound Features YouTube channel.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dan, how's it going, man?
It's going. I think we've got maybe 2 more shows before our opening becomes like documentary footage. You're gonna be seeing it on the news. It's gonna be awesome though. Hopefully we don't go out the same way, but I'm gonna say 2 more shows. Maybe. But other than that, I'm doing pretty fantastic.
Good. That's very good. Have you trimmed your beard though?
I have, yes.
Oh wow.
Why?
It was just time.
Just
like,
too much.
You can't go full like wizard at a certain point. So, I was getting pretty close to like full on wizard. So yeah, I trimmed it back.
I hear you. But it's good to see you, Dan. Hope you've been doing well.
I've been doing great. Looking forward to the show.
Very cool. Well, has anybody seen any good movies lately?
Well, not a movie actually, but I did see the AEW pay-per-view at the theater, which was a unique experience. And I highly recommend that if you're a wrestling fan in the chat, check your AMC and see a wrestling pay-per-view. It's so weird being in a dark theater and people just chanting, dropping the F-bomb. It's a one of a kind experience. You definitely would have been kicked out of the Batman if
Oh yeah.
If you get a Robin sucks D chant going, that's not gonna go over well. So
yeah, you're gonna have a flashlight shined in your face and like a 17-year-old, pimply kid go, "Sir, we need you to leave."
I remember back in the day they used to do that with anime here in San Antonio, and it got real fucking rowdy in there. Like, and I remember I was not helping the situation either, because please, y'all don't ever want to go to a movie with me because I won't shut the fuck up. But yeah, I got rowdy in those anime screenings, and people were like losing their shit, and it's like, yeah, some people did have to be escorted. I was not one of them.
Wow.
The only time I was ever the only time I ever got the flashlight in the face was during Anaconda.
Of all movies.
What part?
Me and a couple of buddies went to watch Anaconda. I'm sure it had something to do with J-Lo's bottom. Talking about how we would love to constrict her bottom, I'm sure. But no, I mean that's the kind of movie you just get rowdy at, right? I mean, you're the giant CGI Anaconda eating people. How I mean, what cool. But yeah, I don't remember what we were just loud and obnoxious, and guy in the theater came and gave us the flashlight in the face. I was like, "You guys got to keep it down." So, somebody had complained on us. I guess they were just really into the movie. They couldn't have any distractions from John Voight's dynamite performance in Anaconda or Ice Cube's. I mean, Ice Cube is electrifying in Anaconda. We all know that.
Did you mature by Hunt of the Blood Orchid? Like then you were.
By then, listen. By then, I was I was so mature. I didn't even watch it. I was so mature. I was like, I'm not watching it.
Just aged right out of it.
Just aged right out of the Anaconda series after the first one. I was like, no J-Lo, no go.
I had some arguments with people who were just like, that wasn't in theaters. And I was like, yes, I saw Hunt for the Blood Orchid in theaters. There was a theatrical sequel before the Hoff showed up.
The Hoff? Where does he show up?
Anaconda 3 and 4, Sam.
I didn't even know there. Wow. I thought there was a third one. I didn't know there was a fourth one.
I didn't know there was a fourth one either.
You think the CGI was bad in Anaconda? You need to see 3 and 4, even by Sci-Fi Channel like standards. Like I could just draw an anaconda on a paper and just crinkle it, and it would look more realistic.
And in Anaconda's defense, they did have a practical, really big anaconda made that looked just as bad as the CGI one, but at least it was like it was there, you know what I mean? So when it swallows John Voight and then regurgitates him and he's still alive, but he's like all messed up and he like winks at J-Lo, you know, and then he falls over dead. I mean, that's great stuff.
True story. Every time I'm out on my boat, I act like John Voight from the movie and scare the shit out of my nieces. There's this island that I've convinced them is like run by cannibals. I've got a whole backstory, and I always just do it as like John Voight. I get in trouble sometimes, but it's funny.
When you're just going to come on Regionfree as John Voight the whole time.
You should.
That should happen. That should happen.
That should happen. It absolutely should. Goodness gracious. How did we get off talking about Anaconda? Oh, yeah, we were talking about theater experiences. Okay, I was like, how did we get off on the Anacondas talk here? But Dan, I think you were talking about something. I don't know. I'm like thinking about J-Lo too much.
We went from wrestling to anime to Anaconda, J-Lo's ass. We just segued to everything there.
We're only 17 minutes in too.
Yeah, you know, it's weird how it's like we acted like as when J-Lo became a star, it's like we acted like we had never seen an ass before. Like, oh my God, asses are amazing. I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm happy about it because it's like it's nice to see the ass train still going strong. But now we've got to the point where it's like now it's just like now eating ass is a thing, and I'm like, okay, we've gone too far. That's too much. But no pun intended. I did want to mention something. Did anybody see Fresh?
Yes.
I have not.
I did. Yes. Did you?
I did, and I liked it, despite the first scene, because I thought, oh man, this is gonna just piss me off, isn't it? No, it was actually very good, and I did enjoy it, but you can't ask me to suspend my disbelief, which I'm gonna spoil this. So sorry, Piz. And Stone, I apologize.
I was wondering where ass eating does kind of make sense now, so that's okay.
Yeah, you can't ask me to suspend my disbelief enough that our protagonist is like a size 0 white chick, and he cuts off her ass to sell it as food. There isn't anything there. You're getting like maybe 2 patties. I'm sorry. You know, y'all got to stop with that. Overall, though, good movie.
Okay, I've not heard much about it. Dan,
it takes a turn. I love that we're 33 minutes in before we see the opening title credits, and then we go from like Pretty Woman to just this brutal. I don't know how much I want to say, but yeah, it goes hard. Like that first ass eating scene, I was like, wow. This is not what I was expecting it to be. And a Hulu original. It's one of those random movies that Todd, I believe, wanted us to review on Flesh Wound. And I was like, oh God, this just looks like a piece of crap. But I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, it definitely pulls back when it gets a little too intense. It pulls back, and you know, just the humor feels out of place in a lot of areas. And, you know, maybe just the whole, just, this is kind of, it kind of reminds me of Firestarter. Okay, this is going to be a weird, this is a weird comparison. You know, where they take Drew Barrymore to the government facility, but it's like all plush and like fucking, it's like fucking Team Rocket captures her. And it's just a joke. It's kind of like that, except, you know, I mean, they are chained up. Those chains don't look very strong. Also, there's a mirror in those rooms. And I was just like, I'd just be fucking breaking the mirror and getting ready to slit this guy's throat. That's just me. I mean, again, it's sort of like, it's a little bit amateur hour with the, you know, how their little prisons are set up. Not prison cells, I guess. But, you know, overall though, I did really enjoy it. It's, you know, kind of like a step above. Like, it's like what I would like to see from Into the Dark all the time, where it's like digestible, no pun intended, and just, you know, kind of weird and creepy. But
just do Fresh with Pooka if you want, you know, to throw Into the Dark there. But
yeah, kind of like Pooka Lives better. Pooka Lives strong sequel.
Pooka was a highlight for that. Actually, Into the Dark started off really, really well, and then it's like, I don't know, something happened with Bloom along the way, and they just couldn't give us anything even remotely good. But yeah, check out Fresh though, guys. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. There's a few logical things, and but man, and Sebastian Stan, who's in that Pam Anderson, Tommy Lee. He plays Tommy Lee in that show everybody's talking about right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very kind of Christian Bale, American Psycho type performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
On Hulu, by the way.
Oh.
Anybody else seen anything good lately?
Well, I saw something considerably different. I mean, for my topic later, I'm going to talk about the big movie I saw over the weekend. But I did want to throw out there real quick that I saw on Amazon Prime, directed by Amy Poehler, the Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz documentary called Lucy and Desi. Look, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a huge I Love Lucy fan. I grew up watching the show. You know, it's one of the great sitcoms, and it influenced so many other shows afterward. And you know, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, they were a power couple back in the 40s and and 50s, and they created a show that they just wanted to do together because they loved each other and they didn't want to, you know, do other projects away from each other. So they got on television, despite the fact that Desi Arnaz was a Cuban American. Here again, this is the 1950s, but he became the producer of the show called I Love Lucy, where, you know, they play a couple in Manhattan, and she's constantly trying to get into schemes to get into show business. The reason, and I said this long before Lucy and Desi ever came out, but I've always believed that the reason why I Love Lucy exploded in the 1950s was because women wanted to do what Lucy wanted to do, which was break out of a domestic dungeon, here again, years before The Feminine Mystique was published, and just get out there and do something in the world, whether it's show business or whatever the case may be. Because after World War II, you know, all the women were regulated back to the kitchen when the men went back to work. So, but I Love Lucy is one of those institutions of television. I mean, Desilu Studios created, you know, Dick Van Dyke, Star Trek. I mean, so many great television shows of the 20th century. And this documentary, it's not very long. It's only 103 minutes. Amy Poehler gets some wonderful interviews with everybody from Bette Midler to Norman Lear, those who have been around in the television business, and talk about how much, you know, I Love Lucy has meant to them and their lives and everything. It's just a very passionately done documentary, and it certainly eclipses the Aaron Sorkin movie that came out last year called Being the Ricardos, which, look, I was not a fan of Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
She just did not work for me. She just did not work for me. I mean, I thought J.K. Simmons did a good job as Fred Mertz. And who played Desi? It was Javier Bardem, believe it or
Yeah.
not, of all people. He was pretty good though. But no, the point is that if you've seen In the Ricardos, believe me, it is absolutely worth to check out Lucy and Desi on Amazon Prime. Like I said, directed by Amy Poehler. This is her second film, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more stuff that she does as a director, because she's wonderful. She's awesome. But anyway, I just wanted to throw out that. Yeah, I saw that recently. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did too. That was good. I agree with that movie, though. Nicole Kidman was just way off.
It was groan-inducing. I thought it was, and she got nominated for an Oscar. No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. As a long time hardcore Lucy fan, I just do not buy it. So.
They nominated West Side Story this year, so I don't know. It's a little odd.
The Oscars are. I don't think the Oscars haven't really had that much credibility over the last few years, but now it's like, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh well, we've nominated this person before. Let's give them another nomination.
Yeah. I do want to mention that John Voight from Anaconda has joined the stream in the corner up there.
Awesome.
So, he's watching over us all. I feel much safer now.
That is the face of a man who knew what that movie was and just had fun.
Yes.
Rolled with it, just had fun.
He read that script and he went,
yeah,
I'm going to just ham this up. This is going to be, yeah. I do want to talk about a movie that I recently saw that I think is a great movie that a lot of people don't even know I think is out right now, and that is The Cursed. I recently did a review of it on my channel. If you missed that, go check it out. But The Cursed it's a werewolf movie, but I feel like I have to almost preface it, because when you think werewolf movie, I think most people's minds go to The Howling, American Werewolf in London. It's not that kind of werewolf movie. There's not, insane transformations. You don't see like a big hairy beast running around. It's not that kind of werewolf movie. But it's my favorite movie that's come out this year. I know we're only in March, but I can definitely see this one being on my top 10 of this year. And it's a movie that I've not seen a single bit of advertising for, not even like a YouTube ad for it. The title is pretty generic. It lets you know that it's a horror movie, or probably is a horror movie, but it doesn't really sell it, I think. And it's a period piece, so I think it has a lot of things against it, but it's really a fantastic movie. Incredibly well made, beautiful looking film, great performances, really well written. And when it does get wolfy, it's pretty bloody and brutal. And the one thing that we did see with this movie that I've never seen in another werewolf movie is a werewolf dissection, and that was really freaking cool. That was really freaking cool.
Okay, so it's werewolf that's dead being dissected and doesn't transform back.
I don't want to give it away, because there's something. It's different than any werewolfy thing you've seen before.
It's cool. It's cool. Some good practical effects too.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool. And I really enjoyed the story. It's the kind of movie that's really kind of stuck with me. I've found myself thinking about it a lot. And I was really blown away by the film on a multitude of levels. It starts out in the trench warfare, World War I, which is just brutal. They take you inside like this med tent where people are getting their arms and legs and feet amputated crudely, and it just goes from there, and you're just like, oh my God, What am I watching?
Oof.
But it's so good, so good. And listen, this I've been saying this for years. Don't mess with gypsies. Leave them
that's a
alone.
slur.
Yeah, just
That's a slur. We prefer Romani. Excuse me.
I apologize. I'm ignorant when it.
I can say it. You guys can't.
The only thing I know about them is don't mess with them because they'll curse you.
We will.
So don't mess with them, or you or someone you love will be turned into a werewolf.
Or they'll shrink you, like make you lose a lot of weight. That's
exactly. They'll either werewolf you or they'll thin. Yeah. I love Thinner, by the way, too. I used to love that movie. It was on TV like all the time, and
that actor channeled John Voight there too when he did that.
There was indeed he did. Indeed he did. But if The Cursed is still in your neck of the woods, go and watch it. The Batman is going to be there for another month at least. It's not going anywhere. Go check out The Cursed. If it's at your local theater, go check it out. It's an original IP horror film, theatrical release. So show it a little support. And I think you'll, you know what I mean? I think you'll definitely like it. The one thing that I've seen people on Twitter talk about, like, hey, all you horror fans who constantly bitch about not original theatrical horror releases, where are you now? You know what I mean? Why aren't you watching The Cursed? And I'm The Cursed, it was a wide release, but it wasn't a wide release because I had to travel to see it. It wasn't at my local theater. I had to travel to see it, and it wasn't promoted for anything. And it's a period piece. So I mean, if the Cursed is the litmus test for whether or not audiences want original IP theatrical horror, it's rigged. It was set up to fail because this should not be the, you know what I mean? This should not be the tester for that. But still, if it's in your neck of the woods, I would highly recommend going and checking it out.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was fantastic. So I hope more people see it. It's probably like down to that one single showing now, if you're lucky enough to have it. But it's well worth it. I could see it being on my top of 2022 as well.
And Lauren highly recommends it as well. He says it's second to American Werewolf in London, but it's still right up there for him. He loves the Landis. So
he does.
But
it's got the Landis chess piece. It's spectacular.
Exactly. It's incredible. But yeah, definitely go watch The Cursed. Highly, highly recommend it. Good news. Rob Zombie's The Munsters has been officially rated. Anybody want to guess what that rating is?
NC-17.
Not quite. Close, but not quite. Anybody want to take another guess? It could be rated X. Who knows? We're talking Rob Zombie here.
That is true.
That's a possibility.
True. Sherry Moon Zombie. It's got to be at least R-rated.
I mean, at least we're going to see a butt shot, right?
We're going to get some tits, huh?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. No, it's been rated PG.
For please God, why are we doing this?
Miracle.
and that has created some flux in the community because people are like, Rob Zombie's making a PG movie. He's sold out. But it's like, it's the Munsters.
Who are these people that want a rated R Munsters movie from Rob Zombie?
But I mean, what's
to know all about them?
No studio is going to let him make an R-rated Munsters movie?
No.
I figured PG-13 at the most. Like Fred maybe drops one F-bomb, maybe he threatens to skull F one person. They'll let him have one skull F, and that's it.
Eddie's dissecting the neighbor's dog, and there's
Exactly.
I kind of want the R. I kind of was starting to want the R-rated Munsters, but
Can you imagine like the bully at school's messing with Eddie? Eddie waits for him in the woods and beats him to death. But to up the ante, he rips open the guy's stomach with his bare hands and starts eating his entrails.
Yeah.
Now
just give him Dahmer's backstories, like stalking hikers and.
But while he's doing that, I want to hear Thunder Kiss 65 blasting in the background. Yep.
Where do we stick more human than human in there?
Oh yeah. Oh, listen. Herman and Marilyn. The first time we see them, they're getting it on, and it's more human than human is blasting, and I mean it's raunchy, it's nasty. Grandpa's watching from a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? We're getting twisted with this Munsters movie. But no, PG rated Rob Zombie's Munsters. I don't know. I think this is either going to be really good or really bad.
I don't know. I mean, I don't care, but I'll probably see it eventually. I was never that big of a Munsters fan.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was just
Adam's Family instead, or
yeah. I mean, I grew up watching the movies and then catch some of the reruns of the show, but somehow I just didn't get into the Munsters, so it's probably just not for me. It's just fine.
I don't know. Rob may be able to introduce it to a whole new generation, and I don't know.
Sherry Moon. I can't see it in my head.
Can we just not cast her in everything? Just please. I mean, we don't need to. There are other actresses.
She should have been Lucy in Being the Ricardos. She would have been more believable than Nicole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she should have been Lady Diana in what's the Lady Diana movie that whatever that is? Spencer. Yeah, she should have played Lady Diana in Spencer.
Oh man.
But I mean, is Rob Zombie like a hardcore Munsters fan? Like he's very famous
Yes.
for that show and that property. Well, look, I mean, I'll put the trust in him, even though a lot of Halloween fans are understandably still burned. Look, I understand we're not going to go back down there, but I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I do admit that Sherry Moon in the Carolyn Jones role,
it's weird.
It is a little too weird. I think the studio needs to tell him, Rob, like, just can we just have your wife in a cameo or something?
Yeah, I mean, you could have stuck her in there somewhere, but it's weird. I will say this: if you listen to the Munsters Go Home Blu-ray commentary, he is a massive, massive fan. So it might end up being halfway decent. It's possible. I'm a little surprised they didn't maybe give it a PG-13 because I'm sorry, I didn't see who posted that, but yeah, I don't know about his dialogue.
Yeah. This is going to be like John Waters when he did Hairspray. So it's going to be interesting to see him do a family comedy.
I wonder if he's got a co-writer on this. Let's see. Nope, he wrote it and directed it straight up.
Damn.
So we've got Daniel Roebuck as Grandpa Munster, of course. Sherry Moon Zombie as Lily, Richard Brake as Dr. Henry Augustus Wolfgang, Jorge Garcia as Floop. Who is Floop? I don't remember who Floop is. Sylvester McCoy as Igor, and Jeff Daniel Phillips as Herman Munster. I've never gotten a Herman Munster vibe out of him, but okay. He looks Hermanish in the photos. So
Tyler Mane. I thought we would get Tyler Mane. I was like, you might as well. You're doing Sherry Moon. Let's just Tyler Mane is
Tyler Mane alive? I thought. Wait.
Yeah, no, he's still alive.
Never mind.
Don't kill off Sabretooth, Sam.
No, I'm confused with how many wrestlers die.
What was his wrestling name? Big Sky? Don't kill off Big Sky. It was Big Sky, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Sky.
And this is not going to be a theatrical release, I think, right? Because it says it's from Universal 1440 Entertainment.
Peacock, right? Peacock premiere. Was it
is it?
Peacock or
It's a
yeah? I think
Peacock.
it's streaming. I could have the streaming mixed up, but yeah, it's a Halloween streaming release.
Okay, I didn't know that. It's rated PG for macabre and suggestive material, scary images, and language.
I mean, so we're getting we're probably not getting an F-bomb, but we're getting shit in there at least once.
At least once, right? At least once.
Who's playing Eddie Munster again? Did they?
There's no listing for Eddie or Wednesday as far as cast members. Let's see. Let's look at all cast and crew. No, there's no listing for Eddie or
Marilyn.
Yeah,
Marilyn. Yeah.
Yeah, I was concerned about that because it's like you kind of need Marilyn in there to, because she's the quote unquote normal one.
Yeah, they should have just cast Sherry Moon, de-aged her, and have her be Marilyn. It's better than Lily.
Or just have her show up in a photograph somewhere, and that's the end of it. That's fine.
In the words of, oh, sorry. In the words of Princess Leia, it's going to be a movie about family, and that's what's going to make it special.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't know. I have
Carrie Fisher so much. What a fucking bitch. God bless her.
I don't know. I have a feeling about this movie. I don't know. It could be something special. I don't know. We'll see.
We're all gonna watch it.
We're all going. Yeah, curiosity is going to make a lot of people just watch that because it's like Rob Zombie Munsters. All right. So
yeah.
We'll all have our candy corn and our Pabst Blue Ribbon and just sit down and have a good time.
Yeah. So something I want to bring up to the panel here and to everybody watching, the 8th of this month was International Women's Day. And I wanted to know, what are some of your all's favorites, lesser known scream queens or just ladies of horror that don't get enough love? I'll go first.
Oh no.
Wait a minute. No.
He's gonna do it.
No, not my baby. Not my baby. Not my baby.
Okay.
Jill Sholin. I love Jill Sholin too. She's one of my all-time favorites. You never hear anybody talk about Jill Sholin, but I love me some Jill Sholin. So she's right up there for me.
I love how it's like I have no answer for this because you asked a question. I'm like, oh no, I have to figure it out. Oh no, there goes all of my knowledge. I mean, I'm gonna go with Lisa Wilcox, even though she's not well known. But I'm still salty. We never really got a conclusion on Alice and Nightmare on Elm Street. So I mean, she could very well still be alive. I would like to see that. And I also like her dreaming ability, which, it's like Alice can pull people in because, Kristen just kind of gave her that power. And then it kind of got a little warped. Like she couldn't really control it. And it's like Freddy was using that ability to pull people into it, from get to the other Elm Street kids. I thought that was neat. But I like Lisa Wilcox anyway. So.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh man, I can throw out several. I will say Lena Romay. Ever since I saw her in Female Vampire, that slow walk to the camera, always one of my favorites. Rosalba Neri. There's an obscure one, but you've definitely seen her in several films. Childhood crush Brink Stevens, who I like. Hey, Linnea had the more iconic movies, but I always put Brink Stevens at the top of my list personally. She doesn't get enough love. And you know what? There's a lot that I could name modern, but Angela Bettis.
Yes.
I mean, we all know May, but it doesn't get any better in terms of acting. She's amazing, and
yeah, actually, Jamie in the chat. Hi, Jamie. She mentioned Angela Bettis. So yeah, I would absolutely agree. May is a movie that for some reason, like it seemed like it hit big when it first came out, and now it's just like kind of nobody.
20 years ago now,
Yeah, like nobody ever talks about it, and which is sad. It's a great movie.
It's an excellent movie. 12-hour shift.
Yes, I love her in that. She is so good.
It's a good Mick Foley too, who is really good in that movie.
That movie is wild in so many good ways.
It
had
is
so much fun with it.
kind of a dark comedy with some splatter elements, I guess. I don't know if you'd call it like full-on horror, but I loved 12-hour shift. So it's on Blu-ray. I recommend everybody pick that up. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's probably also still on Hulu, more than likely.
Yeah. So watch 12-hour shift with Fresh, actually. That's a pretty wild evening of entertainment. It kind of
body parts flying.
A lot of body parts flying.
You got a kidney in 12-hour shift and
Stone, can you think of any?
I'm not sure. I don't remember how much screaming she did in the movies offhand, but I want to throw a shout out to Fiona Dorff, who I love in the Child's Play series. I really love her. I mean, also, just real quick, of course, Camille Keaton, Day of the Woman. I think should get some love as well. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of some other Scream queens. I wasn't prepared for this question. I'm like, oh no, oh no, but I wanted to. Yeah, I think I'll throw out those couple. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
pandering to Lauren in the chat, Aquanetta.
I was also going to pander to Lauren in the chat and say Melissa Aid from Jason X.
Ooh, there you go.
Edwidge Finnick. I agree. Yeah. Gorgeous Edwidge Finnick.
She looks the same.
Jo Beth Williams. I'm a huge Jo Beth Williams fan. She doesn't get enough love. She's wonderful.
I'll throw out there too Daria Nicolodi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always overshadowed, but Daria is amazing.
Yes, Amy Dolan's absolutely. Like, she is definitely one of those lesser known Scream queens that she doesn't really show up on those lists for the horror outlets. Also, it helps being the daughter of a monkey because hey, the monkeys are awesome.
Indeed.
I don't know if Barbara Steele is like obscure Lauren, but yeah, I mean, she was the Scream queen for her era.
The late Julie Strain.
Oh, I love Julie.
Yes.
So if you ever get a chance to like read up on her, it's really tragic. Just head injury, and it hit her later in life. But she brings so much. It can be like just this low budget TNA Skinamax film, but she elevates it. She's just so good, and whatever she was in, she always just actually Heavy Metal and the one she was in, Heavy Metal 2000, are hitting a 4K set, I believe, in the next
that's right
month.
That's right.
So check out Heavy Metal 2000 with Julie.
And I totally agree with Captain Halloween. Ethel, my heart will go on with Ethel. I'd eat her slop any day. Susan George, of course. Susan George. How could I forget Susan George from Pieces? Oh my God. Yes.
And
I'd also mention Serena Grandi from The Great Delirium. Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot. I will say Lena Romay in my heart, like, and the fact that there's like 200 movies you can watch her in. Check her out for sure.
I just now realized you're wearing a Dario Argento shirt. Is that Phenomena or what is that?
This is Opera.
I love opera.
Yes,
love opera.
I enjoyed your review for the new Phenomena set.
Oh, thank you.
Just got mine in the mail. I haven't popped it in yet.
Cool. Yeah, I love opera too. Opera seems to be one that I think that was Argento's last great movie, but it seems to kind of not get too much mention. It seems like, I don't know. I love opera.
It's another one that was late in the game. I mean, the Italian scene really had declined, or certainly had started to at that point. But yeah.
So yeah, we've had a lot of people throwing out Shelley Duvall, Katharina McCall.
No, I met her. No.
And Cheryl Lee.
Yeah, I could get really obscure, and I don't know if anybody's going to remember these two, but kind of micro budget talent. But Phoebe Dollar and Sin DeVille, really low budget stuff. But I kind of expected to see them in more. Kind of either one could have become the next like Tiffany Shepis, but they just kind of fell off the map.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw out one more, and that would be Emily Bergel, because, you know, I know The Rage Carrie 2 is not everybody's favorite movie, and that's totally fine. But I think she did a really great job, and Rachel as protagonist is very relatable if you were a depressed kid in the 90s. So, also, I'm just going to throw this out here. March 8th was my anniversary with Mr. Sam, so.
Oh,
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Wonderful.
Did you watch Fresh on anniversary night? Was that your movie?
That was beforehand. I actually had a dentist appointment on my anniversary. I was like a 7 a.m. dentist appointment because I had to get my teeth cleaned, and it's like, well, I gotta schedule it. Now we went out of town to Austin, New Braunfels area. We went to an arcade, and we just hung out. But yeah, when we came back in on Sunday, and then I just had a couple days off.
Nice.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome.
Dana, no. Oh, go ahead.
I just saw this pop up. Slasher Home Video said, "Did we say Shawnee Smith yet?" And I feel like
no.
that's extremely necessary.
Oh, there you go, Shawnee Smith. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And one more for me. I mean, I adore Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and that movie is now unavailable everywhere. I had to get an old MGM Blu-ray because apparently, I mean, it's like the physical media is all sold out. It's not available streaming anywhere.
It's available through Hoopla, that local library app. So if you have a library that works with Hoopla, it should actually still be on there.
There you
Isn't
go.
that weird? Because I was trying to find
bizarre.
too.
I have to go to the library to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Hey, y'all can use my taxpayer money for that. That's okay with me.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's out of print, I'm guessing maybe it's going to be available soon from a different distributor. Maybe. Yeah. That usually happens.
I should go to the library dressed as Chop Top for Halloween and do the exit thing on the way out and see if anybody gets it.
No, the police would get you probably. So, Dan, I know you want to talk about some fun flicks tonight. Go ahead, man. You've got the floor.
Absolutely. I'm going to talk some cheesy action films, and one that I was always a big fan of. I don't know if there's any Max Headroom fans in the chat. Cult sci-fi show and 80s icon. Unlikely 80s icon because it was very short-lived, but he was the face of Coca-Cola for a little while. And I was going to talk about The Taking of Beverly Hills, a movie from director Sidney J. Furie, who you might know from all sorts of different things. Horror fans here in the chat, he was the director of The Entity. He is still going strong and making movies at 89 years old. He was really kind of known for very personal, idiosyncratic films early in his career. He directed Diana Ross as Billie Holiday, everything from that to Michael Caine in The Ipcris File, Appaloosa with Marlon Brando. He was just very iconic director that less so, but Superman 4, probably everybody's got their stain on their resume, but he made a very entertaining film called Taking of Beverly Hills with Ken Wall, another guy. You may not know the name, but for like a minute, it seemed like he was going to be the next big action star before, I believe it was like a spinal injury sidelined him. Because you can really see the charisma in his performance in this, where he plays a football player, Boomer Hayes, who has to thwart a group of corrupt cops who have shut down Beverly Hills with a fake chemical spill so they can rob everybody. The great Robert Davi plays the villain, and this movie is a blast. You get to see Matt Frewer as like the good cop, partner up with Ken Wall, and just mow through Beverly Hills, destroying everything for 90 minutes. I love this movie so much. The director's original cut was a little more satirical, and they cut out a lot from this, so you're not really necessarily getting that action parody of Die Hard and Beverly Hills Cop at the time. Unfortunately, this is one of those movies that was completed a good deal before its actual release and was shelved due to some bankruptcy issues with Orion at the time, and it eventually kind of got like a very brief limited theatrical release from Columbia. But I rewatched it on Blu-ray, which you can get from Kino. It's a very good audio commentary on here as well from Sidney Fury's biographer. And it's just as fun. It really made me think about how much more entertaining action films were in the 80s and 90s versus today, where I don't know, just seeing Vin Diesel going to space in a Fast and the Furious movie is just, it's at a point where it's the bad kind of ridiculous. And you can really just see how great Fury was. Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield's another. That was actually his last studio film, I believe. Iron Eagle, which for my money is a lot better than Top Gun. I always enjoyed that. And I wanted to throw this one out there. You guys should check it out if you haven't seen it, because it really is a blast. And Robert Davi, I mean, Haley Jane Kozak, who's beautiful. You'll know her from all sorts of different things as well. Highly recommended you check that out.
Can you show us the Blu-ray again?
Yes, absolutely. From Kino. And not a lot of extras or anything, but the commentary track is well worth it. And they just don't make them like this anymore. It's such a ridiculous premise. And Mexico City doubles as Beverly Hills, which I think is hilarious. They shot this in an uncompleted sports arena of some kind, and it works. I mean, like I said, it's the chase scenes. You get to see, much like Invasion USA, a tank just mowing through like these Beverly Hills mansions. It's a good time.
So it was the name of the main character, Ken Wall. It's Boomer Hayes.
Boomer Hayes, yes.
Is that a sativa or an indica?
I don't know.
Legit, that sounds like a weed strain.
Yeah, there's like scenes where he like throws like Molotov cocktails at the bad guys and yells touchdown. It's really just
Okay.
action.
Actually, I'm looking at a German release of the film on Blu-ray, and you would think the movie's called Boomer because it says Ken Wall Boomer, and then underneath it in very small letters, The Taking of Hollywood, but in German, of course. But Boomer is huge on it, which is fun.
And Ken Wall's got an epic mullet, and they just don't make action movies like that anymore. It brought a smile to my face. Another one, I know tonight's kind of an action kick for me, but and I don't know if anybody has watched this. There's kind of an obsession with the star of this at Flesh Wound, Weng Weng. I don't know if that name rings a bell for anybody, but he is the smallest action hero of all time at, I believe, 2 feet 10. And wanted to talk about For Your Height Only. It's a Filipino action film. James Bond I guess you could call it a spoof. Yes, you do get to see Weng Weng get it on with some very lovely Filipino ladies in this film, and it is hilarious. Even more so when he was actually a special agent in the Filipino army. They used him to like infiltrate buildings when there were like hostage stands on. So it's wild. It's really wild. And if you've ever watched Filipino action movies before, from the great Sirio Santiago, some of the Vietnam action flicks from Roger Corman, there was no safety concerns whatsoever for these poor stuntmen. We're gonna light you on fire and throw you off this building. Here's a mattress. That is about all they got. You will laugh your ass off just looking at the trailer. Just Google Weng Weng. There's even a documentary. I believe it's called In the Search of Weng Weng. It is, if you're a fan of cult movies, dive in. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff is lost from his filmography, but The Impossible Kid, I believe, is one you can still watch. It's fantastic. So throwing that one out there for you guys too. Another one, I don't know if this one's obscure. I know a lot of people have watched this, but it makes a great double with Taking of Beverly Hills. And it came out the same year. Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth.
I've heard of that. Haven't seen it.
Oh, Sam, you got to. Brian Bosworth. It's a biker movie that basically had like no script. Lance Henriksen, I think, winged all of his dialogue. It's all about infiltrating these white supremacist bikers, a gang called the Brotherhood. Chains Cooper is played by Lance Henriksen in a great villain role. And it stars Brian Bosworth, who's a former Seattle Seahawks linebacker who has a pet Komodo dragon in the film. And it is absolutely glorious early 90s action movie cheese. But if I will just say, if you like these types of films, grab the Blu-ray. It's olive. I don't know if it's still in print or not, but either way, this is essential. Had to throw that one out there. Getting super obscure. I'll run through a few more of these, but I know a lot of people saw these. I'm a big fan of Die Hard ripoffs, and there were a lot of them. But one in particular, well, actually two, the cinema of the late great Anna Nicole Smith. Are we
talking Skyscraper here?
We are talking Skyscraper here, where terrorists are taking over a building, but you still have time to take a 20-minute shower scene, because why wouldn't you? You gotta be clean to
gotta be fresh. Gotta stay
fresh
to
kill those terrorists.
So where are we on Skyscraper versus Barbed Wire?
Oh, Skyscraper's better, I think.
Yeah, Skyscraper's better.
Yeah, Skyscraper is genius.
Listen, if my life were on the line, and it was down to Pam Anderson or Anna Nicole Smith, Anna Nicole.
Oh, yeah.
She looks like she could at least fireman carry me.
Exactly. Or she could at least drag me. You know what I mean? Pam Anderson would be like, "I'm not touching him." Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see anybody taking an ass whipping from Pam Anderson, but yeah, I think Anna's got it in her.
Well, her boobs could crush you. I mean, if she's still alive. R.I.P. But I mean, dude, like she could kill you with her boobs.
She could. There was I will save it for another show, but there is a series of action movies where a woman is centered around a woman that kills guys with their boobs. I'll leave that as a teaser because I'm going to cover that separately. But yeah, Skyscraper and also To the Limit. Very much the same formula. Some good late night
featured with that.
you should absolutely do a double feature.
It's a shame we don't have a Skyscraper Blu-ray though.
There should, yes. It's better than the Rock movie too. Although the Rock does, I think, show his boobs quite often in that as well. But nonetheless, there's no 15, 20-minute Rock shower scene in the middle of the action.
Holy crap! I think that DVD's out of print too because they're asking $79 for it on Amazon. Let's check eBay here.
Keep your eyes out, though. I see those pop up. There's actually a double with both of them on it as well. So I'm getting dumber and dumber with these movies as I go down this list. But another one. Now, this one is very obscure and very, very stupid in the best possible way. Has anybody watched the Lou Ferrigno, Reb Brown classic Cage before? So this film centers on two Vietnam War buddies. And so there's a scene, at the beginning, Reb Brown they're essentially escaping a group of Viet Cong that are shooting at their helicopter. And there's a scene where Lou Ferrigno eats a bullet right in the middle of his head. And he is still able to take that bullet and carry Reb Brown, hold him up from this helicopter as it evacuates.
Wow.
So he's superhuman in this movie, I guess. And then we jump. The timeline makes absolutely no sense, but we jump into the future. They now run a bar together. Lou Ferrigno is now brain damaged, and but it doesn't stop him from entering the underground world of cage fighting to basically save his brother's bar, and Reb has to go and collect him. This movie is so dumb.
So wait a minute.
Stupid.
He took a bullet to the head.
Right.
He has brain damage, but he can still compete in an underground fight. Okay.
Yeah. Well, gangsters kind of exploit him because they want the bar, and then Reb Brown. It's also unique because if you don't know, that's the Incredible Hulk and Captain America, the OGs.
That's right. That's right.
I will take that Incredible Hulk and Captain America over the new stuff any days.
Yes.
So yeah, it's also strangely homoerotic. Because there is like a scene where like Reb Brown is like nursing Lou Ferrigno, and I think he even bathes him at one point. It's very, very homoerotic too. So it's a progressive little action film, and yes, you must experience Cage. It is so stupid, and I love it. So there's some suggestions for you guys. I highly recommend all of them. Let me know if you watch Cage. There's actually they made a Cage 2, believe it or not, like 5 or 6 years later. Wow. And that one's very hard to get a hold of. But yes, apparently Lou Ferrigno did a lot of research and was not happy because Reb Brown didn't want to like learn the finer arts of cage fighting for his performance in the film. So there you go.
And this is we're talking about.
Real actor.
Yes,
Hunter for the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can also see Reb Brown beat the crap out of some impressive fake dinosaurs in that movie.
Yes. Yes.
Stone, what did you got for us this week?
Oh, well, okay. Last Friday night, I was very, very lucky to go to the Alamo Draft House and go see The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. I promise I will not give away any major spoilers. I mean, it's only been out a week. I'm not going to, give anything away that happens in the third act or anything, because apparently there's a lot of things in the third act that have been upsetting people. So I'm going to just avoid the third act. I will say that this is maybe my favorite live action version of Batman that we've ever had. I mean, I can't say it's eclipsed Batman Begins yet, but it's pretty damn close. Now, this is a 3-hour Batman extravaganza, which showcases Bruce Wayne and Batman as the detective. And we're basically going after a serial killer known as the Riddler, played by Paul Dano, who a lot of people have talked about how this film reminds people of like David Fincher movies like Seven and Zodiac, and that is very, very true. I mean, this is a very intricately plotted, very complex mystery where Batman has a very uneasy alliance with the police department, despite the fact that he gets along well with Lieutenant Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, who played Felix Leiter in the James Bond series. And he also must deal with a new iteration of Catwoman, played by Zoe Kravitz, who I'm actually really, really enjoying in this new Batman movie. But this is directed by Matt Reeves, who, as we know, directed Cloverfield, and he eventually did the remake for Let Me In, which I actually really like. Aside from the CGI in that movie, I really like the Let Me In remake. But he also did the last two Planet of the Apes movies, Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes. So Warner Brothers just basically gave him the keys after the whole DCEU thing went down the road of Zack Snyder's Justice League 4-hour cut. But we're pretty much done with that. This is very much and here again, people have been talking about Zodiac and Seven. I seriously thought of Seven a number of times while looking at this Gotham City. But I'm going to be perfectly honest. The movies that the Batman reminded me of were The Maltese Falcon and The Big Sleep. This is a Batman that Dashiell Hammett would have loved. This is a Batman that Sam Spade would have loved. I mean, it's a very intricately plotted serial killer story where Batman has to do real detective skills, and we've never really seen that before, I don't think. Colin Farrell, unrecognizable as the Penguin. He's indescribable. But he's brilliant. And I love how he's a completely different interpretation from the grotesque nature of Danny DeVito in Returns, who I love, by the way. But here again, completely different, down-to-earth personalities. I mean, this film, I loved every moment of it. I savored every moment of it. Seeing it, having brunch at the Alamo Draft House was, of course, awesome. I mean, the theater was only about halfway packed, which was good as well. It was just overall an amazing theatrical experience. And I can't wait to see another Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. I never thought I'd say that, but look, the guy behind The Lighthouse and Good Time, he's become a tremendous actor in his own right. I mean, I'm still not 100% sold on Kristen Stewart, I have to admit, who, of course, is getting raves. I mean, she may win the Oscar for Spencer. I don't know. Who knows? But Robert Pattinson has really turned into a brilliant, brilliant young actor. And it's going to be amazing to see where his career goes forward. But I'm pretty certain that he's going to be playing Batman a number of times in future movies. And I'm pretty sure that Matt Reeves will be behind those as well. And like I said, I mean, what was the other thing I wanted to mention? I mean, I especially like how this film was more about suspense rather than action. I mean, Batman is not indestructible in this movie. He gets messed up. I mean, there's not a lot of gore, but man, I mean, it really, I mean, there's some brutality in this movie. There's some shocking stuff. It's not for kids. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I mean, nobody under 12 should see this movie. I mean, it's that gruesome and it's that intense. And here again, just complex as hell. I mean, you're talking about a police department that looks upon Batman with disdain and doesn't trust him and everything. And it just the way this movie plays out is unbelievable to me. I've never seen a Batman movie like this ever. Maybe I'm overpraising it. I don't know. I plan to see it a second time as soon as possible. But it was just an amazing theatrical experience, and I can't wait to revisit it. What was the other thing I wanted to mention real quick?
Well, you told me in private that you wanted to mention you're still you loved the Batman, but it's not quite Twilight. You're still Team Edward.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I'm
so
still Team Edward. Yeah, I'm still getting used to that. I've never seen the Twilight movies, to be honest, but as an addendum, can I just throw out and say, you know what's going to be debuting on HBO Max this year? They actually made a Batgirl movie, and yes, Michael Keaton will be returning as Bruce Wayne / Batman for the Batgirl movie, which is premiering on HBO Max. So, look, I was 10 years old in 1989. I went to go see that original Tim Burton movie in the theater. I swear, Halloween, every kid wanted to be Batman. There was like 20 kids that went to my elementary school dressed as Batman. I went full Jack Nicholson and made myself out to be the Joker. I dyed my hair green, put white makeup all over my face. I got the purple suit and everything. and we had a contest at school, and I walked by all the judges and I squirted them in the face with my squirt flower from the movie. I mean, of course he had acid in the movie, but of course I just had water. Squirted everybody in the face, and I got 4 ribbons for that. There was no other kid that actually thought of, hey, I'm going to go as the Joker. Every kid wanted to be Batman. No, I wanted to be the Joker. Jack Nicholson was just so over the top in that movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this new Batman movie, it has Catwoman, Riddler, and the Penguin. And we haven't seen all those villains in a Batman movie since 1966. And yes, I mean, I am a huge fan of the Adam West iteration of Batman. And even though this movie is completely different from that, I could sense that the filmmakers were very aware of the Batman 66 connections. And that just made it even more delightful for me. I basically like most of the Batman movies except for the Joel Schumacher ones. I mean, I'm not a fan of the nipple bat suits or any of that nonsense, but I pretty much like them all. But the Batman is just something on some other level in some other galaxy that I never thought I would ever experience. Here again, 3 minutes shy of 3 hours, but it's an experience, and I highly implore anybody and everybody to brave the theaters to check out Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson.
So who's playing Batgirl? Who's in that Batgirl movie?
I got to double check now.
You know, for me, Batman just isn't Batman without the nipples and the cod piece.
Yeah, that was Clooney was packing in that one, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So don't discount Kilmer. You know what I mean?
That is true.
And to answer Sam's question, Leslie Grace, the singer-songwriter, is playing Batgirl in the new movie. She was in
that sounds super familiar. Leslie Grace. Why do I know that name?
She recorded and released an independent Christian music. All right, never mind.
You just stopped.
Yeah, I just stopped. I didn't want to read anymore. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt when the movie comes out, though.
Hey, I'm down for a Batgirl movie. Let's make it happen. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah,
and you know, Michael Keaton and J.K. Simmons. That's enough for me. I will say that. I will definitely say that. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you were talking about how after Batman, everybody wanted to dress up as Batman for Halloween. You know, I mean, imagine my embarrassment after the Suicide Squad came out, and you know, here I come, Harley Quinn, and like here's all these other girls dressed as Harley Quinn, and I'm like, but I'm the prettiest. And you know, I had the beard, and I mean, I don't know. People just mocked me.
Region-free Halloween special. We should all just be Harley Quinn. Let everybody vote.
I'm fine with that. Hey, I'm down. Do you all have any Ren fairs in your area, or do you all ever go to any Ren fairs?
I went to one, and as soon as I got there, I was like, "Where's the alcohol?" So that
it's all over the place.
I was like, "Where's the alcohol? I'm going to need some alcohol to get through this." But
Well,
I went in full Templar knight outfit one year, so
I give it to those people because like when I went, it was like middle of summer, 100 degrees, and these
it's
people
brutal,
were wearing
yeah.
full on garbs and
Yeah, I had the chainmail and everything. It was awesome.
I couldn't handle it. I couldn't
Stone,
handle it.
do you? What about you? You Ren Fair guy? Oh, Stone's ignoring me. Okay.
Stone, Ren Fairs, just asking him that question is insulting to him. Okay, you have completely insulted him.
You got to drive a ways probably from New York, I think.
Yeah,
to
there's
hit a Ren Fair.
Yeah, we have to drive a couple hours if we go to Ren Fair, but I haven't been going to Ren Fair the last couple of years. When we did, so Chris introduced me. This is Chris's fault. So if y'all want to get mad about it, if y'all think it's objectifying women, you can blame my husband. So apparently he and his friends developed this game where it's like a Harley Quinn drinking game at Ren Fair because there are so many fucking Harley Quinns at the Renaissance.
Anywhere, yeah.
Why? But then, it's sort of like, take a drink for every like old school Harley Quinn, right? From the animated series. Anybody wearing that getup? Because most of the time you're going to see the newer Harley Quinns. I get that. But then it's like, take a drink, like take 2 drinks for, like slutty Harley Quinn. Or take 2 or take 3 drinks for fat Harley Quinn. And like, you will get so drunk so fucking fast. I'm confused about why there are so many Harley Quinns at Renaissance fairs.
Yeah. Do they at least make it like a Harley Quinn, like a crossover kind of thing where she's Harley Quinn, but she's also
like medieval Harley Quinn,
Harley Quinn, yeah.
Well, I'm sure that there have been. I can't really recall any off the top of my head, but I do recall an amazing couple that we saw in our first year. They were Arthur and the Tick, and they were medieval Arthur and the Tick, and I was like, it was so cute.
It is funny watching the people dress up as like anything but like medieval themed things at that. Yeah, I see Harley Quinns like walking around the mall though, like they're
just coming out of Hot Topic.
Manufactured. And like that getup is not cheap. Like I went into some of the tents where they were selling some of the getup, and I mean that stuff was expensive. So I mean if you're into that lifestyle, you're spending some major money on your outfits, like real, like, I mean, it looked really cool, like real leather, like vests and leather, like sheaths for your swords. And, it was some fancy stuff.
Yeah. And the people that make those, they're unbelievably talented. And it's that there's a reason they charge that much because it's the quality of those pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very gorgeous stuff.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, it's fun. If you've never been, like, just go early in the season though, because it can just be brutal. Like I thought I was gonna die dressing up for it, and I only did that once. But yeah, get turkey leg. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Turkey legs are the best reason for Ren Fair. Turkey legs and really good beer.
Oh yeah. There's one up in Maryland, and I can't remember where, but it's like one of the biggest in the entire country. Maybe near Annapolis. I can't remember where I was at the time, but yeah, that one is amazing.
Very nice.
Yeah. Well,
sadly, I haven't been to a Ren Fair in like 25 years. But it's interesting when you brought that up, Sam. I mean, I just wanted to bring this up real quick. Are you guys fans of George A. Romero's movie Knightriders? The movie he made in 1981 with the motorcycle jousting. I can't help but like that movie for so many reasons, even though it's very long and it's very weird. It may be the most bizarre film in his whole filmography.
Yeah, it's difficult to not like, even though I mean, like, let's watch the new Romero film. What's it about? Singing cosplayers.
Yes.
Or do they get turned into zombies? No.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like Romero's version of Shakespeare in the Park. It's
Exactly. Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it.
Trying something different.
Does a
Yes,
creature jump out of a box
exactly.
and attack them? No. They just ride around on motorcycles.
No, they joust on motorcycles.
That sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh series I saw once, but they were dueling on motorcycles.
Ed Harris was in it. Just give it a shot.
Ed Harris. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and free on Tubi. So what do you got to lose?
There you go.
Of course it's on Tubi.
Tom Savini's got pretty much a lead role in it too. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
if you love Tom Savini the actor, there you go.
Yeah.
But really, if you love Tom Savini the actor, you've got that or Children of the Living Dead. Those are your two choices, really, right? So, Children of the Living Dead is superior to Knightriders, though. I mean, that's everybody knows that.
Savini's part wasn't too bad in that. That's
in Children of the Living Dead.
Yeah, he at least had the highlights. So
yeah, he got to do the highlight. Yeah, that's Sam.
Yes.
So you know I'm getting ready to tag you in. Yes. I've softened up the opponent. Now you need to come off the top rope with a slam.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Do you have anything in the chamber?
Elbow drop.
Anything in the chamber for a Sam slams this week?
It's going to be a lot of mini Sam slams because, like, I'll get pissed off at something and then I'll forget about it. So then I forget why it made me quite so angry. But I think what I'm slamming this week is just plot holes, because I feel like I've been inundated with a lot of plot holes, and I wasn't here for the Texas Chainsaw discussion. But that movie is mostly just plot holes. Like chainsaw, like gas and chainsaws don't work like that. Gas does not work like that. Deeds don't work like that. Like, and there she is, the beacon of beauty herself. Like, yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is none of this works that way. But then, and like, then there are smaller offenders, as I mentioned before, like Fresh, where, our heroine, size 0, white lady, and our villain just cuts off her ass to sell it as meat. And I'm like, there is no meat on that ass. Sorry. You can't. And then this
should have taken out J-Lo. I mean, come on.
I know. How are you going to get her for? I don't think you're going to get her, though. I mean, J-Lo and Sebastian Stan, though, that would have been a really good. That would have been a hot, sexy movie.
She's doing romantic comedies with Owen Wilson. She's done.
Or get Kim Kardashian. Just tell her that you'll promise her like a couple of million more Instagram followers. She'll show up.
Or just cast Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson in that. I mean, Pete Davidson already looks like a psycho, so it's fine.
The bionic ass. We can rebuild her.
And he definitely looks like he needs to eat something too. He does not look well.
He looks like he's on heroin at all times. And I'm sure he's not. I'm sure that's not the case, but dude, like, eat a cheeseburger, anything. Yeah. So then the other one that I had, God, it's like so many plot holes, I'm falling into them. So I watched Shut In, that Daily Wire movie, and here's the thing. If you get trapped in a pantry and there are matches in the pantry and it takes you most of the movie to figure out that you should light the matches, but then, like, maybe try and, like, burn this thing down, but you got to make sure that you don't get, you don't suffocate from the smoke. I get that, right? But at least it would weaken the door. This dumb bitch has been stuck in that pantry for most of the movie. Also, here's the other problem I have with that. So our heroine is a recovering meth addict. Her husband is still doing meth, and they have 2 young kids. The younger of which, like, he's still on formula. So this is a little kid. So apparently at some point she went to rehab. And if I'm doing the math correctly, she shot that kid out too fast during labor. She popped dirty for meth and then went to rehab. That bitch don't have that kid no more. Like, that kid is not with those parents. Neither of those kids are with those parents. And that's how, like, I can't, I cannot suspend my disbelief for that much of the movie. I just can't. So just little things that I'm picking at here and there. It's been a busy few weeks, so I didn't really get a ton of viewing in.
I was thinking about suspension of disbelief today, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And I there's a fine line when it comes to suspension of disbelief. I'm cool with, I constantly tell my girlfriend when she starts poking at, well, that wouldn't happen. It's a movie. It's a horror movie. We have to allow we have to allow those things to happen sometimes to have the horror movie. But then you sometimes they cross the line into, I feel insulted. Like the you know what I mean?
Yeah, when was the last time you felt insulted?
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, I may have to think about this one for a second. But let me think about it. Do you remember were you insulted by the meatless ass?
I mean, yes, because it's just like, okay, this is a long way to go for an ass-eating joke, because it's just, you have to think about these things. Like, is anybody really going to believe that we're taking like selling the meat from an ass, like from a size 0 girl? And I'm just like, either write it differently, or maybe they put it in there because she didn't have an ass to begin with.
Maybe it's like a crab leg. It takes a lot of work to get into it, and there's just very little meat, but the meat is really good. So maybe that's,
I was also thinking, it's like we don't really have quite as many value menus anymore at the fast food restaurants, but maybe it's for like the elites that aren't, are just like not quite at the point of like having like the status of like, ooh, old money. Maybe they're like new money and they're trying to get into eating people and they just want to taste a little bit. Maybe this is like a sampler. So.
I guess
I'm confused. I know, it's like I'm making a mess of this movie's plot.
Could you still walk if your ass got cut off?
She does a lot of crawling, but she eventually does like dance and run.
Do you remember
dancing?
Do you remember in The Thin Red Line when Woody Harrelson accidentally pulls the pin out of his grenade and he throws himself up against the mound of dirt so that it just blows out his butt and not everybody else? And while he's laying there dying, he's like, I blew my butt off. So he survived it for a short time, but I mean, he saved everybody in the hole because he threw himself up against the side of it, but he blew his butt off and he let everybody know, like, hey, you're only alive because I blew my butt off to save you. So,
well,
but I listen, what insulted me?
Okay.
Laurie Strode has 40 years to build the ultimate death trap for Michael Myers. 40 years. But she leaves a door down there. Very convenient. No, how did he just like climbed? How did he get out again? It doesn't matter. She had 40 years to build the ultimate death trap for Michael Myers. It doesn't work.
And she destroyed it anyway. Just blew it up. Like,
just burn it down.
It's fine.
She had on that ride to the hospital, even though she was bleeding out, she had to be thinking like, man, what a waste of time.
Yeah, all that money that she invested into prepping that house for Michael Myers.
Exactly. Like, yeah. And he just walks right out. The only thing burnt, the side of the mask is a little burnt. That's it.
He's busy transcending.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. 40 years.
How many days until Halloween ends, guys?
Hopefully another 40 years.
Now that you bring it up, Halloween Ends has officially wrapped. It's officially wrapped.
Are we thinking reshoots are possible?
I'm thinking we're going to get some reshoots. I think, especially, I'm thinking they're gonna. I did hear though. I don't know if this is true that they cut out the whole COVID. All the COVID stuff in it's been cut out. There's no COVID stuff in it now.
That's good.
Oh yeah, I guess they would have to update it then, because we don't care about that anymore.
Is Putin like bombing Haddonfield? That would be awesome. Just go like straight into the next thing.
Yeah,
or like you know, we've got to escape. My car is on E, and I'm broke.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. That's an easier fix though. You can just you can manipulate the numbers on those on the gas stations just fine. The oil companies do it every fucking day.
That's true.
I want Red Dawn with Michael Myers. Let's just get crazy now. Why not? That would be awesome. A patriotic canon style action movie with just Michael Myers killing I
want it directed by either Joseph Zito or
yes.
Pyun. Or maybe it's a combo, a Pyun Zito team up, you know.
We got to get Michael Dudikoff in there somewhere.
We do have to get Michael Dudikoff in there somewhere.
Just make him his brother, his long lost brother. Somehow.
He's the Man in Black.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Dudikoff just shows up at the end. American Ninja and Michael Myers against
Hell yeah. I like that idea. But yeah, I imagine probably by July we'll start hearing about test screenings and then it'll be pretty much from there on. It'll be all the hype will be Halloween ends. So
God, I just want to weasel my way into a test screening.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I just can't give my real name. They'd find me instantly.
They'd be like, "Is that girl from Regionfree who hates everything?"
The one and only.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. Were you wanting to slam anything else?
No, actually, I really didn't have a ton to slam. I had to do like little bite-sized slams, but yeah, suspension of disbelief is just kind of like that. That was something I was gonna, bring up, and I mean, Piz, you've answered, but like Dan, Stone, what about you guys? Have there been things that have you guys had to suspend your disbelief to the point where it's too much lately?
WWE booking.
Oh,
yeah. We've got Logan Paul, Johnny Knoxville, Pat McAfee. It's the weird.
Imagine thinking Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee is a WrestleMania moment.
Are they
that's almost as bad as Happy Corbin and Drew McIntyre. Oh, that's a WrestleMania moment.
Are they that desperate that they're booking matches with Logan Paul now?
Logan Paul and the Miz versus the Mysterios. Yeah, that's right. And Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. And yeah, it's pretty bad.
Gee, good Lord.
Okay. I mean, I was skeptical of Bad Bunny, but it's like then he's like bumping for an F5. I'm like, okay, you're good, man.
I want to see Logan Paul take repeated F5s.
That would be fun.
And of course, he needs a guided tour through Suplex City first, though.
It's true. I remember when that was a moment, that SummerSlam against Cena and Suplex City became a thing. It was incredible. I don't know. How many suplexes was that, Dan? Do you remember?
That was a shit ton of suplexes.
It was it was amazing.
I think on about 6, he goes Suplex City, bitch. And then it was like, yeah, that just became the Yeah. Lot of shirts. Lot of shirts.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a shout out to Orc. Thank you, Orc, for the additional 99-cent super sticker. Orc is just
Orc is our Monster O.
I know. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Monster. He is indeed. Yes. Monster O. Let's see. Anything else? I want to mention this. Most of you probably don't care. But today marks 12 years since the passing of Corey Haim. As someone who grew up in the
Damn.
80s and was a big and loved the Lost Boys as much as I did, and License to Drive, and Silver Bullet, and The Watcher, you know, seeing his downward spiral and how bad it went was just really sad. It's still sad. Watching his E True Hollywood Story is just depressing. It's really, really depressing. And, you know, he had gotten his life back together. He was doing well. He was clean. And then he dies of pneumonia.
Yeah.
And, he survived all those years of really hardcore drug use. Gets Lucas. Yeah. Love Lucas. Yeah.
Kind of disturbing now with the...
A little disturbing. Yes.
Yeah. Sadly, but look, I mean, I had to go to the New Jersey Horror Con last year because I met Carrie Green.
Oh, nice.
Signed my copy of Lucas. I didn't ask her about Corey Haim. I didn't want to go there, but you know, at the same time, to match what Piz said, I mean, yeah, Corey Haim from those early movies like Lost Boys and Lucas and License to Drive. I mean, you know, he had a talent. He had it, man, and it is a very sad and very sad.
Mm.
He didn't have the same iconic roles as Feldman, but I think he was a lot better than Feldman, and had his life gone a little different, I think he could have maybe transitioned to be a star as an adult.
Yeah.
It is a shame. I actually just picked up Dream a Little Dream on Blu-ray, which I don't remember a lot about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I grabbed that from the Vestron line.
Yeah. But yeah, 12 years since he passed away today. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I didn't think anybody else would care, but I'm glad that there's some love for the Haim in the chat. And
it's hard to believe 12 years, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is
12 years was 2010.
Yeah.
How the world has changed. How the world has changed.
It's a lot of 20th anniversaries and 30th anniversaries this year where I'm like, I remember seeing that in theaters. Getting old.
Oh, I know. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in happier news, it is also Mario Day, though. March 10th. MAR10.
Yes. Okay, cool.
And it's the 69th day of the year. Nice.
There you go.
There we go.
So that balances out Corey Haim. But
let's see. Anything else on your all's minds?
Well, this Tuesday, I'm very excited. Childhood favorite, Sword and the Sorcerer, is hitting Blu-ray. That is not Blu-ray, 4K. I'm sorry, 4K and Blu-ray. Very excited to pick that one up. If you guys haven't checked it out, it is just a great 80s movie. Albert Pyun, I've mentioned this before, one of the first celebrity interviews I did. So many great movie memories. It's sci-fi action, but Nemesis, I highly recommend you guys pick up that Blu-ray set that has those films. The first Nemesis is a great action movie.
Oliver Gruner.
Yes, Olivier Gruner. Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember watching that.
It is Thomas Jane, actually. I think his first major role in that one. It's just they don't make action movies like that anymore, and there's so many from even just the 90s, early mid 90s. Some fantastic films that they're lost to time almost. People have just forgotten how good they are. But I will say Vinegar Syndrome is putting out some really cool shit right now. A lot of Billy Blank stuff, Cynthia Rothrock. So look into those. You may not have rented them back in the day, but those are gems.
Very cool.
I was
how is it? Didn't Albert Pyun have some medical issues?
Yes, I think he was like in the very early stages of dementia when I interviewed him, so I kind of get the vibe now. Yeah, but super nice guy. He was really touched to, I don't think he realizes. I mean, you go over his even stuff like Arcade, where the effects are very dated now. Just fun flicks. Also, kind of an early cyberpunk guy, which was interesting because we talked to him about that, and he talked about having to explain to like investors what cyberpunk is, and not even fully knowing what it is himself, but kind of being known for that. He did a lot of good films, a lot of uh cheap films for like no money with rappers made in Eastern Europe in the early 2000s. He had some stuff I can't even like talk about that he told us off air, but yeah, just one of those guys that doesn't get his due.
We were talking about the original Captain America.
Yeah.
He directed the original Captain America, and he was going to direct this canon Spider-Man movie, I think, after
with
Toby
Michael
Hooper.
Dudikoff as Spider-Man.
Right, right.
That would have been the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
He also directed Mean Guns, which I remember being a pretty fun movie too.
Yeah, Mean Guns is really good. Ice-T and Christophe Lambert. Yeah, I mean there's some like stuff that didn't turn out so great on his filmography for sure, but yeah, he just he's one. Dive into his catalog. Hopefully I've given you guys some more obscure stuff tonight that you've never seen before.
And of course Cyborg, which I mean classic, classic film.
Yeah, and that was a very different movie going into it.
Masters of the Universe 2.
Yeah, the sets for that, and that's why Cyborg is a very impressive looking movie for that time. Like it really feels epic in scale, and that's because of the unused sets for that.
Yeah, love that freaking movie, man. So good. Side note, has anybody seen Cyborg 2 with Angelina Jolie?
Yes, and I have, because my acting mentor Billy Drago is in that one. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty good.
And what's the lead actor's name?
Elias Koteas.
Elias Koteas. Yes, he's
Koteas,
in there too. Good cast for a Cyborg sequel. I remember it being decent too. It's been a while.
It was like it was Angelina's first film, like pre-Gia, and it's people for like some of these titles, like back then people might have thumbed their noses at them, but they really stand out now, like compared to modern B movies. They're really good. I mean, PM Entertainment, not a household name, but goddamn, did they know how to make fantastic action movies. Everything was a ripoff of either like Terminator or RoboCop, but they were all really entertaining movies.
They knew how to do the ripoffs right.
Yeah.
That was another video, like you knew you were in for a treat if the Canon logo, or if like the Vestron logo or the PM logo popped up at the beginning of your video. You knew you were in good hands that night.
I can't remember the title, and this actually came up on a show a while back, but there's one where Dan Haggerty, Grizzly Adams, there's a montage where he's beating the shit out of some people to the Roseanne theme, which is just brilliant.
Wow.
Maybe not PM's finest moment, but I'll figure out what it is.
Awesome stuff there. Holy crap. Oh goodness. Anything else before we call tonight? Okay, go ahead, Stone.
I have a special announcement to make. All right. This Saturday night at 9 p.m., less than 48 hours to go. Be sure to leave the guns and take the cannoli, because this Saturday night I will be doing a 50th anniversary audio commentary for Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. Premiered in New York
Mm.
City on March 14th, 1972. And we will be talking about everything from the Mario Puzo novel to how the film was made, when it was released, and how it ultimately won Best Picture and became a legendary masterpiece of movie making. This Saturday night at 9 p.m., go to Stone Gasman's channel. You are all invited, of course, and be sure to bring extra cannoli.
Yes. Get those cannolis.
Yes.
Joe Spinell is in that movie.
Yes.
And Joe Spinell, he hung out on the set even when he wasn't in scenes. And so they counted him every day. So he was getting residual checks like a star.
Yeah.
When I had William Lustig on the channel, he said he would pick up Spinell and take him to a liquor store where he would with like $20,000 checks. He had like a $20,000 check from Paramount for Godfather.
Yeah.
I mean,
Has he spent all of that at the liquor store?
If you watch The Undertaker, yes, he definitely spent all of that at the liquor store.
he lived life to the fullest.
He did, yes. Even when he was obviously going through a lot of trouble, like you watch The Undertaker, that charisma is still there in his performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there'll never be another Joe Spinell. I will say, I was really impressed with the remake, though. Like, because going into that, I was like, man, I don't know, how do you replace Joe Spinell? But yeah, made it his own.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I keep saying I'm going to go revisit that movie, but I never get around to it. But it's really good remake, and the first person stuff is good, and great flick.
On the last Region Free, I mentioned Night Shift on Blu-ray. Joe Spinell has a tiny role near the end. He runs this paradise place with all these prostitutes and everything, and he tells Henry Winkler in his face about Michael Keaton. He couldn't find his asshole with a funnel.
Who's finding their asshole with a funnel? That's why is that why are you using a funnel for that purpose? Is that the first thing you think of when you think of a funnel?
I think there might be something else going on there.
Can you use something else to find your asshole with? That's what I need to know. Like
the actress from Fresh might have needed a funnel after that. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Jeez, what is going on? Let's do some shout outs here. Shout out to let me give a huge shout out to Orc tonight. Orc's just making it rain in the chat. Multiple 99-cent super chats and a $2 super chat. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Very kind of you, even though you're a noob. And thank you to Brian Trash for the $2 super chat. Very kind of you. Let's see who is still with us tonight in the chat. We've got there's work in the chat. We got Slasher Home Video, Cliff Booth. We got Dave Vanderhoff. Hope you're doing well, Dave. JS, Rock Music Forever, The Daily Ghost, Captain Halloween, Big Crack Rock, our old buddy Big Crack Rock, singing out with us tonight. Let's see, Anthony Anderson. I know we had Mr. Sam in the chat a little bit earlier, so shout out to Mr. Sam.
He's watching something that's not region free right now, feeling a little betrayed.
That's messed up.
You need to have a serious talking to with him.
It's okay. He made it past the anniversary. I'll cut him some slack. It's fine.
Ben Grimm, how's it going, Ben? Coent 78. Stingray was in the chat. Jamie was in the chat. Lauren was in the chat tonight as well. Cable Channel 11, that's our old buddy Jess. Hope you're doing well, Jess. Robert Long's hanging out in the chat tonight. Toronto Freddy, hope you're doing well, buddy. So yeah, we've had Joe Reese. Hope you're doing well as well. Had quite a lively chat tonight. Barney likes what was that name? I scrolled past it. No, I can't find it. I think maybe it was Barney likes horror. No, it was Barney likes beer. Barney likes beer. Nice.
It's true. Barney does like beer on The Simpsons.
Very true. I was thinking the big purple dinosaur, but yeah.
Now I'm just picturing Barney the dinosaur drinking a beer. Kind of warming up to that idea.
That is a little alarming. Yes, indeed. If you ask Jeremy about Barney, he'll tell you he eats children. That's what he says. He eats children.
That's amazing.
Yeah, eats children.
I feel like Jeremy has all the secrets of the universe. Like Barney eating children. That's 100% true.
He knows. He knows. He also knows that the Teletubbies are evil.
That's correct.
That's correct. The baby son is as evil as they are. The baby son is even more evil. He'll tell you that too.
That's where they get their power from. That's the source of their power.
Exactly.
Didn't one of the Teletubbies do porn? Actually, I think that was a thing. It's just hilarious.
Why do you know this?
I know things, Sam. That's the important stuff.
You know things.
Yes. There's somebody said, they wanted a commentary. Maybe we just found it.
Wow, holy crap.
We are not doing a commentary on Teletubby porn.
Wait, what? It's not Teletubby porn. I said one of the Teletubbies did porn.
They're outside of the suit, I guess.
Having said that, there is also Teletubby porn. But
there's got to, yeah.
I don't like to believe that there are people in those suits. I like to believe that they are just, in fact, monsters, because that's the only thing that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's true. There's my buddy Robbie in the chat. How you doing, Robbie? Sam, where can we find you on social media?
No, I'm just hanging out on Twitter, Sheeby_GBs. That's where I'm the most active. So y'all come hang out or do whatever.
Okay.
I'll post some stupid memes.
What else is Twitter for?
Fighting
and memes. That's it. That's literally it.
I'm in a meme mood, so don't worry about it.
Cool. Dan, where can we find you on the social media?
Flesh Wound Features here on YouTube, and Flesh Wound Radio on Twitter, and you can add us separately as well.
Cool. Stone, where can we find you on social media?
Twitter and YouTube, Stone Gasman.
All right. Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. This has been a very fun show. And thank you all for joining me tonight. It's been fun. We've talked about a whole gamut of things. Some of I don't.
We got to call this ass-eating anacondas. There you go. That's the episode name.
Wow.
Anaconda.
Guys, I'm going to Google that. I'm going to get put on a list, but I'm going to Google it real quick, okay? Bear with me. I know we're ending the show.
You're already on a list, Sam. Come on.
Damn.
Wow. Actually, Urban Dictionary says it's just a way to describe large male genitalia that gets a lot of action.
Ooh.
I'm glad I know that now.
Somebody's missing out by not writing a movie called Anaconda.
That is true.
Anaconda. Oh my god.
It needs to be directed by Jim Wynorski.
He did Cleavage Field, so it's
He did. All right. Well, you guys have a great week. We'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for all of you for joining me tonight. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Peace.